Well, the gratitude doesn't end there. I recently spent a little time with an alum of Bishop McCort Catholic High School in Johnstown, Dr. Matthew Gaborik, and a current student, Ansley Steigers. The two have much in common. Both battled horrific health challenges, and both received tremendous support from so many. With Thanksgiving almost here, they shared with me why they're so appreciative of the Crusher community, their family, and of course, their Catholic faith.
When I was coming towards the end of 8th grade, I started to have some losses vision episodes, and after an MRI, I got diagnosed with a brain tumor that summer, literally 2 days after 8th grade graduation. I had my first surgery where they biopsied it, and it ended up being a benign tumor, a juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma on my thalamus, which is like here and here, going towards the brain. Then a couple weeks later, I had 75% of it resected and was cauterized. Hasn't shown any growth in that time period, which is good. Thank God for it, actually. But then after that, it was probably a year and a half later, I started having some headaches and some sleep difficulties and things I still kind of deal with, constant headache and trouble sleeping. Still seeing specialists to try to figure all that stuff out. And then towards almost at the end of high school, I ended up having a seizure. I had another couple months later. That's been managed well since then, but all kind of starting there right when I was about to graduate 8th grade.
I was born with AML, and we got that cured. Everything was okay, and then 13 years after, I was in deep heart failure and was put on the transplant list. I was thankfully blessed with my heart a few months after being placed on the transplant list, and all was smooth sailing until I got sick the summer of 2024 and discovered I had PTLD, which was a rare complication from the heart transplant, and now I'm undergoing chemotherapy to try getting rid of it. It's kind of a full circle moment, but we're going through it.
I'm especially grateful for them in that first year. My freshman year they really did a lot to make sure that as I was recovering from my surgeries, was still able to, take all the classes and do the things I needed to do. They made adjustments like to make sure I didn't have to carry books around because I wasn't allowed to carry more than a couple pounds. So they made sure I had books at home. They made sure I had books at school to take care of it. And then, I was struggling with some short-term memory for about the first year. Didn't really have much short-term memory, which made learning in classes difficult. And all the teachers, they took extra time to go over things with me, or if they noticed they taught something the day before and were there the next day and I have no recollection of it, they made sure to help me out with that, help bring me up to speed.
Everyone was just super empowering and just cared. Anytime they would see my sibling or anyone, they'd ask how I was doing and say they were praying for me and telling me how much they cared, which was amazing. And then the second time around, they did a big fundraiser with Sideline Cancer and raised money for my family, which was so appreciated. They did not have to do that at all, but it meant so much. And this time, again, everyone's always asking how I'm doing, how's the journey, praying for me, they love me, and it means so much to know that I have such a big community around me that really cares.
After McCort, I went to Notre Dame, graduated 2021 with a degree in biological sciences and a minor in theology, because you had to take a theology class. Ended up really enjoying it. I think CCA and McCort really set me up on that pathway. Then went to Michigan State College of Veterinary Medicine, graduated just this last May, and right after that I started working in Evansburg at Evansburg Animal Hospital. So about 6 months in right now. Still dealing with some sleep problems that I kind of mentioned and headaches, still working with some doctors on that. But I think in terms of where I'm at as a veterinarian, I've grown so much in the last 6 months. I feel a lot more confident in my abilities and my skills.
At first I thought I'd wanted to go to LSU because I really like Louisiana, but recently I was able to go to Indiana and tour a little bit of Notre Dame, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I'm really hoping I can find something I want to do there that might be healthcare related at Notre Dame. So we'll see where I end up.
I wouldn't have been able to be where I'm at today without the grace of God, really. even like if you think back at my surgeries, what kind of gave me the strength to, face it without being too fearful was I knew whatever happened, it was in God's hands. God was going to be with me, good or bad. And I could say I felt like that the whole time, especially, in hard times when I'm having trouble sleeping, I'm tired. I just know I have my good shepherd right with me, helping me along. So it's really been foundational for me. I couldn't imagine who I would be without my Catholic faith. I'm very grateful that my parents made that a priority to raise us, taking us to Mass, teaching us about our faith, made sure that we had a good Catholic education to be able to build on that and make it an important part of our lives.
With this second round, I've definitely realized faith first and everything else second, because that's the main thing keeping me going. Like, definitely not take anything for granted, but the faith is truly what I needed. I have my parents, my brother, and then like my cousins and my aunt, uncle, and my grandparents. Like the whole group. Love them. They're the best. They're my #1 supporters.
2 members of the Crusher Kingdom with much for which to be thankful. Happy Thanksgiving to the Gaborik family, the Steigers family, and the rest of the McCort community.